Next generation gaming is upon us. In one corner, you're going to have the PlayStation 5. In the other corner, the Xbox Series X. And of course, people are going to have to choose. Yes, there's going to be the occasion where some people are going to be able to afford to get both. But let's be real, most people aren't going to do that. That's a very expensive proposition. And aside from that, how are you going to play more than one console at a time? It's like usually most of my time is spent on one or the other. If something's out that's more appealing on one, I'll play it. If it's the other, you can't play both at the same time is my point. And so with the launch games and stuff like that, most people are probably just going to be able to pick up one at launch. With that being said, there's been some pretty groundbreaking news today, and I'm really looking forward to kind of sharing with you. It kind of involves both the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X. Really much better news for that PlayStation 5 in my opinion, but I'll leave that up to you guys. But we're going to learn something and we're going to have some fun here today, so let's get started. What's up everybody, Crapgamer here with Crapgamer Reviews, back with another video. Thank you so much for checking it out, I really do appreciate it. Please hit the like, share, and subscribe button, I would appreciate that as well. It helps out the channel and it means a lot to me personally. A lot of people wonder how they can support a channel that they like. A simple like goes extremely long way. Trust me when I say that. You can hit the bell also. It notifies you of all the content when it comes out. I do daily content, at least one video a day, sometimes two, and there's a lot more stuff coming on the way, including M&C is coming back next Sunday at 11 Eastern right here, so make sure you guys tune in for that. Shout out to all the old subscribers, new subscribers, everybody in between. You guys are fantastic. I do this because of you. I've listened to the feedback. You told me you didn't want any boring scripted videos. You got tired of that. Hello, let me tell you why Xbox really did the best box. Let me tell you why PlayStation is the best nation. Like, you don't want that. You don't want monotone voices. Good evening. Welcome to Xbox News. We're going to tell you exactly why Phil Spencer is so handsome and why he smells so great. Right? Like, you don't want that. I get it. You want raw, unfiltered, unscripted opinions from people with emotion who are obviously passionate about this medium, and I'm going to keep giving it to you because you keep asking for it. And fresh new gameplay. You don't want events from E3 playing in the background. You want fresh, interesting gameplay, interesting stuff to look at. Hey, I might suck at some games, but hey, you might find something you actually like and want to play. So it works out well for everybody. But anyway, with that being said, I wanted to get into a little bit of this news right here. There's a couple of interesting things that have come out since Microsoft's big show. Everybody was like, wait for July. This is the interesting thing to me anyway. There's a lot of YouTubers out there. You could be a pro Xbox YouTuber or whatever, and everybody was like talking teraflops and velocity architectures and how that was like the be-all, end-all and all this kind of stuff. And then, they really expected that chess match, that checkmate, to be the mic drop moment that was July with Microsoft's big showcase from the first party. Everybody was like, wait for July. That's the big meme, because even though I'm an Xbox fan too, and I was probably one of the ones going wait for E3 for multiple years, it's kind of a running joke now. Wait for E3, wait for July, wait for August. It's always wait till the next thing because Microsoft under-deliver, and I really feel like that's a bad way to live as a gamer. To be a fan of something, and you always have to wait and kind of temper your expectations. But with that being said, after Microsoft show, Sony's stock kind of skyrocketed, not official stock, but I'm just talking about in terms of the PlayStation 5, and this was pretty interesting. And I can see why this happened. Not only did PlayStation 5 go to the number one wish-listed item, but both versions of the PlayStation 5 went to the number one and number two spot respectively. So that's going to be something that a lot of people have to kind of take for example, but it's not just that as well. PS5, and I will link this article in the description. You guys can check it out. I'm actually going to link a couple of articles for this news story so you guys can check it out. PS5 leveraged a staggering 89% global increase in game conversation on Twitter in Q1 to build interest. So this is pretty interesting. In late March of this year, Sony actually managed to leverage a staggering almost 90% global increase in video game conversation on Twitter to build interest and awareness around its upcoming PS5. That's what Twitter's chief financial officer, Ned Segal, said during the Q2 earnings call with investors. Obviously, some of this could be impacted measures against what's going on in the world right now. Sony not only found a way to connect with its customers, but its PS5 campaign also managed to harvest over 1 million mentions over 2 days in late Q1, thereby having an engagement rate 4 times higher than Twitter's benchmark. Exact details of this benchmark weren't shared, but you do know that Twitter tracks average engagement rates for various different industries. brands have found innovative ways to join in the conversation and connect with their customers despite what's going on in the world. For example, PlayStation leveraged an 89% global increase in video game conversation on Twitter to build interest and awareness for the PS5. Their successful takeover campaign with a branded emoji, a promoted trend spotlight, and a first view resulted in PlayStation being a top global trend with over 1 million mentions over 2 days and a 4 times higher engagement rate than the benchmark. We continue to amplify conversations around the live event. So obviously everybody's already noticed that Sony's upcoming PS5 console was trending on Twitter following that, and also people are already talking about the next event in August and how people are really kind of looking forward to that. Hopefully we get some kind of price announcement with that as well, because people are going to be very, very excited. Now, you might go, well, what's all the reasoning behind, everybody all of a sudden wanting and showing more interest in the PlayStation 5? And it's actually quite simple, and I can put it in this way. Eurogamer, Engadget, all these major sites are talking about what a letdown Microsoft's show was, okay? So this is what a lot of people can sort of expect to see, and I will link this one as well. Again, here's what they had to say about, PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X. The gap between the Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5 for cross-platform titles will likely be real, though it's not going to be as severe as the Xbox One X PS4 Pro divide. Despite this, though, during an all-important launch window, it's likely that we'll see PlayStation 5 exclusive titles that simply look better than Xbox Series X exclusive titles. You can see this in Halo Infinite, which looks like a 4K remaster of an Xbox One launch game. Now, some of that comes down to art direction and wanting to produce a game that recalls the Halo series legacy. They are also promises that it will, quote, get better. But if the game looks like an upscaled Xbox One game because it is, in fact, built to run on an Xbox One, Microsoft can't afford to release a first-party game that struggles to run on its own hardware, which means that the ambition of the Infinite has to take a hit. That might seem nonsensical, but it all comes down to a shift in strategy and a promise. So, basically what they're saying is this. I'm sure you all go to multiple YouTubers and things like that, and a lot of them were 12 teraflops, velocity architecture, shaders, this, that, using a lot of fancy buzzwords that realistically probably meant to make you feel like they knew what they were talking about. That stuff is important, but at the end of the day, what developers can do with these consoles is even more important. The difference between the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5 is a mere 16 to 18% total. The difference between Xbox One X and the PS4 Pro is a lot higher than that, meaning you saw a bigger difference between the game versions this gen than we will next gen. In fact, most AAA games from big developers are going to be probably exactly equal on both, since they're both basically doing the same things. So all that kind of stuff gets thrown out the window, and it comes down to, well, PlayStation 5 is going to have the better looking exclusives than Microsoft's exclusives, because Microsoft's exclusives are on everything. They're still supporting the old hardware, not only old hardware, but they're going to scale on phones and PCs of varying architecture. So this is another huge advantage for PlayStation going forward, and this is something that a lot of people are starting to notice now. People were thinking that there was going to be this huge difference in gameplay, and it just really didn't that didn't happen. That didn't happen. So, at the same time, that's something that people have to kind of keep in mind, is that Microsoft kind of hurt themselves once again with their own showcase, and not only did they hurt themselves with their showcase, but they actually helped Sony by doing so, right? Like, people waited for Microsoft to show their hand. Microsoft showed their hand. They had a couple of twos, and that was it. Sony's got like a straight flush going on, and Microsoft had like a pair of twos. At the end of the day, that's kind of what happened here, and now people are like, oh, well, let me get in that PlayStation 5. So much so, and I already kind of covered this before, that they're predicting up to 170 million PlayStation 5 shipped in the first 5 years, and Sony is ramping up production to double what they originally planned. So that tells you that people are really high on PlayStation 5 right now, and it's becoming the must-have thing for next generation. While you look at the Xbox side, it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. I think the Xbox Series X is a powerful console, but I just think that Microsoft's strategy isn't for the common gamer, isn't for the hardcore gamer anymore. And when you come off of Halo Infinite, they could possibly be just shoved in Game Pass unfinished. That's very weird to me. That's a very odd situation there, because this was the Halo that was supposed to bring Halo back to prominence, and their big AAA tentpole, and it looked like that and played like that, and it's not going to be finished at launch, and it's not going to have ray tracing at launch, and they're just going to shove it in Game Pass, and it's probably going to get a lower Metacritic score than maybe even Halo 5. I don't know if that's even possible, because that was an 84. Not that that's terrible, but for a Halo game it is. And so we'll have to see how that sort of plays out. But again, Sony is absolutely killing it in every metric, and people still think that the Xbox is going to do something in terms of sales. Xbox is not a worldwide brand. I'm sorry. PlayStation is. Like, PlayStation is going to just really, really kind of turn it up a notch this holiday season. It's going to be interesting to see how that plays and what the reaction is, because I noticed from all the YouTubers and all the people, the pro Xbox people that said, you know, we got the power, wait till July for the games, and then they kind of backed off, and now they're saying stuff like, well, we're all just gamers here, you know, we're getting 2 incredible consoles, and, you know, we should just be happy with that. Like, they changed their tune really quick. If you're a fanboy, just own that and stick with it. You know, it's like, it's okay to be disappointed with Xbox. You don't have to then all of a sudden go to we're all just gamers here, because I get it, we are, but at the end of the day, if you're like, oh, for sure they're going to be showing this, this, and this, and you're disappointed, say you're disappointed, right? That's my biggest problem, what I have with people when it comes to this kind of stuff, is they're afraid to admit the disappointment. So anyway, let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. I really do appreciate it. You know, you guys are absolutely amazing. Thank you for spending time with me on another one of my videos. Stay safe, happy, healthy. Have a great day. Have a great evening, wherever you are. Rack 'em up. Game on. Crapgamer out.
Unscripted.